Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the premier streaming network. It is now time for Music of Wrestling with Mikey, Rukus, and Dale Oliver. Here's Josh Shernoff.
Thank you so much, Voice of God. I appreciate that. I am Josh Shernoff, and I am so excited for this panel. When I found out that I was going to be able to moderate this, I was unbelievably excited because I love wrestling themes. Who else loves wrestling themes? I think like most of you, I definitely would, I'd put some of those old albums in, I'd listen to it in the car, and then you'd stop at a light and you kind of turn down the Rock's theme a little because it's like, I don't know, it's just weird. Then you turn Billy and Chuck back up. But anyway, great theme. That was a great theme, and I will argue anybody on that. We have two people who are going to go down in history, if they haven't already, with the themes that they've created. And I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I'm going to bring him out right now. First, he has nearly 1,000 themes between MMA and pro wrestling and has spent over 4 years now with AEW. Please welcome Mikey Rukus. All right. Mikey Rukus, there you are, right there. We can see that.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming.
Mikey Rukus is not the only one who's going to be joining us on here because we also have, he's a multi-time Grammy Award winner. He's a Nashville songwriter and has created over 700 themes for TNA. Please welcome Dale Oliver. All right, let's have a seat here. Nice to meet you, too. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to speak with you guys.
This makes me really old.
Old? Oh, because you have to, squat all the way down.
I'm getting to that age.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I never know what to do either. Do I sit here? Here we go. We'll do the...
we'll do this.
Oh, man.
I've gotten really good at this as I've gotten older. The little leg kick.
Here we go.
You got to do it.
I didn't used to do this. I can't do what Kevin Hart does with the full leg cross.
No.
That hurt, bro.
It comes from leaning over the guitar and a computer.
Yes.
A lot of it.
We developed the hunchback.
You're this, right? You're just this, and then how does that work? We'll jump right into it there. How does that work? Just the physicality of it, because when you're performing, I'll see you performing on stage, you're moving, you're rocking around, but that's not what it's like when you're writing music. You're writing music, it's, I'd imagine, a very quiet, very calm and intimate setting at first.
Is it calm for you?
It depends if the spark is a fire or just an idea. Because a lot of times, based off what you're saying, is if you're sitting there writing a theme, it can be a little mundane or whatever, and music's emotion. So you're trying to get across an emotion for a character or the talent, that you're writing for, whatever the situation. So for me, I stand up, put the strap on, be like I'm rocking out sometimes because I play different and I feel different when I move into music. It's just like a little baby dancing in the aisle at church, It's that kind of.
So what is it like I guess Dale, we'll start with you. What is it like for you when you're standing up, but nowadays with the computer that you're working on that, is your computer up? Or are you just standing up, then you're sitting down, then you're standing?
I'm jealous because my son's out here somewhere, and he's audio producer for AEW, and writes music, and he's got one of those ones that goes up and down. I do it old school,
Same.
So I'm kind of like this. Guitar, it's hanging here, and I've got the monitor, and so I'm like doing everything. I'm kind of like that. So it cripples you even more. Is all I'm trying to say.
He's doing the rock show stance in his office.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
I do the same thing. So
Alone.
First of all, it's never quiet for me. I'm always like beatboxing or just yelling in key, and my wife is telling me to knock it off, and I'm I'll be sitting in the chair and just like, it's like a nervous tick. And that's usually how the themes start. And next thing you know, it's like, dun, 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 dun. I have to go outside and go sit in the car and yell in key in the car to kind of get it here. And then I go upstairs and get to work. And I, too, I've got it's called an automated desk. Mrs. Rukus actually purchased that for me. I have, like, severe ADHD, and a lot of times it's more productive for me to work standing up. So I just hit a button, it raises up, and I've got everything at chest level. And and she's actually walked in while I've been rocking out and, like, filming me looking like an idiot. So,
but, you know, you'd have to imagine, though, like, the songs, and we're going to hear them a little bit later. We're going to hear a live performance of some of your songs. But with these themes that are meant to get an audience of, as we just saw with All In, 80,000 people at times on their feet and cheering, these are coming out of you. So the idea that you're rocking back and forth, yeah, that makes sense, right? That makes sense that you are getting this, you're emoting this song out of you.
For sure, yeah.
You want to expound on that first?
No, it really, for me, the themes that, the fans, I mean, they're the ones that dictate the talent, success in a way, as talented as everybody is, and the theme song goes with it, and that kind of what makes it work for everybody, all that together. And so we spend a lot of time trying to capture the character.
I agree, and just to kind of piggyback on that, it is more for us. We look at the theme as being just part of the entire story, right? So you've got the talent, you've got the story that they're trying to tell, you've got the direction that the company wants to go, yes, and the storyline that they want to use, and you figure out how you can capture that audibly, right? And there's a lot that goes into it other than just the beat itself. It's the time, it's the exposure, it's something that's not overtly over-suggestive, but enough to where it's catchy enough that the first time you hear it, second time you hear it, you're already singing it. And a lot of times it's subliminal. You don't know that you know the song until you know the song. You know what I mean? So
one that stands out to me, one of yours, is All About the Boom.
Great one. That's my favorite theme song.
I was there the night that Adam Cole debuted with AEW, and I had to stop for a second and go, is this music, did he use this before? Because that crowd was instantly singing along with a song that they had heard for the very first time 5 seconds in at this
Who's
point.
That band? I want to buy that.
So I want to go over your catalogs, but we'll kind of start with there. We'll start with that one there. What was the process just for that specific song to get that out there to that audience?
Yeah, so I got the text from Tony, which is usually what happens. Sometimes Tony will call me. Sometimes he'll text me. He said, hey, I need you to talk to Adam Cole. He's coming. And I was actually planning on being at All Out that week. So I was working on his track and Bryan Danielson's at the same time. I was doing like a new rock version of Flight of the Valkyrie before we went to the one that he used, Born for Greatness. And the Valkyrie one ended up on the Symphony album. But that's a whole nother Oprah show. With Adam Cole, I knew that the boom spot was part of his persona when he was at NXT. And I had heard the track that he had. It was kind of like a... So I wanted to kind of elevate that because there was a swag in it, right? And I wanted to build it to that point with the boom spot and everything. I put it together, and I just kept hearing, that's what it's all about. It's all about the boom. And hearing the riff that they had at NXT, I was like, this can be more like a heavy Rage Against the Machine type. And that's what Adam was saying, like, I love Rage, right? And I put the first one together, and he absolutely loved it. And then the very next day, he texted me, and he's like, my mom loves this song. And that's when I knew, So I told him, I was like, hey, we need to get the boom spot in there, too. And he was like, I don't know if I'm ready to do the boom spot just yet, just because it's something from over there. And so he did the first couple of renditions you'll hear of it, there wasn't a boom spot. And then the community was like, hey, you need to have that in there. And he was like, Rukus, you were right. let's put the boom spot in there. I was like, I already got it done, so here you go. And the whole process was probably like 3 days before All Out, so 3-4 days. So I knocked out the riff in a day. I tracked the vocals the next morning and then sent them up and did a couple tweaks here and there, and there we go. And I had no idea that it was going to take off the way it did. We hit number 5 on the Billboard rock charts with that. That's
amazing.
One. So, and I didn't realize it until like maybe 6-8 months later. And I got an email from Billboard that said, hey, you guys charted. I was like, what? What? So it was a nice little surprise.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. Let's go into the catalog right now. So maybe we'll go with a top 5 here. Or if you just want to rattle them off, just some of the ones. What are some of the themes that the audience would be most familiar with that you've done?
There's
over 700 or whatever, 1,000.
The ones that I get tagged in the most are Keith Lee, Eddie Kingston for sure. I'm drawing a blank. Butcher and the Blade, All About the Boom, Lucha Brothers, and that, of course, because of the performance at All Out the same night that Adam Cole debuted. So
Ethan Page was good.
Yeah, Ethan Page, and that whole performance and everything, like that week was probably one of the craziest weeks of my life, leading up to the debut of Adam Cole and his theme, and then performing with the Lucha Brothers on the same show. And it's pretty funny because I was sitting in the hard cam section. I left the hard cam section, went to go perform, and came back to the hard cam section, and everybody's like, was that the guy that was just was that? Yeah, that's him. Go talk to him. No, I don't want to talk to him. My friend said he should come say hey. I was like, all right, hey.
Instant superstar. How about you, Dale? What are some that from the TNA days or now? What are some songs that the fans are familiar with, and maybe they don't even know that you were behind?
Yeah, I have a Cody Johnson song in country music. People that listen to that. I know it's kind of diverse, my career, but yeah, wrestling-wise, one of the first 4 that I ever did was the original AJ Styles and Jeff Jarrett theme. So those, I had a studio with a guy named Mark Miller that's the lead singer from Sawyer Brown. So we got into the studio business and had kind of a front of Mix magazine, 1999, and it was this great studio. It was, state of the art then. And I had gotten off the road with Blackhawk, was a band I was in, and touring with, he knows him. Some people remember. Reba McEntire. I just finished a tour with Reba. My son was born, and I was like, okay, I'm not going on the road anymore. So I started writing, different styles, and ended up on Shinedown's record, playing guitar, and on the Sound of Madness album. So just got really...
How wild is that?
Crazy, even for me. And so I ended up getting into a lot of different things, and Mark Miller was friends with Jeff Jarrett. And Jeff had sang one of Sawyer Brown's songs in one of the other shows. And anyway, they became friends. And he said, hey, he's starting a new company and they need some music. And I told him, you were the guy. Can you write some music? So I wrote, Jeff's and AJ's, and that was like first batch.
And how many would you say through, I had here in my notes, over 700 themes for TNA?
At least.
Which is...
I have 1,000 songs on television, movies, video games.
Unbelievable.
I've done EA Sports, Madden football, a couple of movies, scoring, and just, it's pretty diverse. That keeps me interested in it, that's for sure.
So one thing for wrestling fans here, I know you did the theme music for this guy. I think he's got a future. They call him Sting. Did you also do Stings in TNA?
Okay, you mind if I just play it for you?
Oh. No, I'd like you to just sit quiet. Yes, please, if you can.
Give me a hand, would you? So this one came about that way. Okay. It was last minute. I mean, he's already a giant star, and hey, Sting's coming in, we need music, and you're going like, you're not going to, I guess we can't afford Metallica.
Same.
I guess we can't afford Metallica, so it's up to you to beat Metallica. And I'm going, thanks for having me. I'm going to.
So he had this kind of slow theme in WCW, but then that transferred over to him starting to use Seek and Destroy by Metallica towards the end of his run in WCW. What I do think is really cool, while he gets ready for this, what I do think is really cool is that your theme almost harkens back to the pre-Seek and Destroy theme.
Correct.
Whereas as Dale's theme is almost kind of riding off that Metallica sound. So it's, yes. Which of course I think also speaks to Sting, just in his ability to reinvent himself throughout the years.
Well, you talk about a storied career and different chapters within his story, and I think that's what I can say that we were both going for at that point. So we get the initial shock that we have to make the theme, and then we figure out exactly what story needs to be told there. And Tony was very adamant with the AEW rendition that we harken back to the Crow and the Crow Sting. So that's kind of where I went with it. And I actually, crazy enough, I just met Sting for the first time.
Really?
I don't get out much. It's kind of like, I'm like the scientist in Independence Day with the long white hair. When somebody shows up, he's like, yeah, hey, let me show you what I got. So yeah, that's exactly how I've been for the last 2 days. I saw Sting in the green room, and I finally went over and said, hey, I just want to let you know, I saw you wrestle Ric Flair the week before Clash of the Champions, and he was like, wow.
And did you go, oh, and I also wrote and recorded the music that you
I'm
go to the ring with all
I'm the
time.
music guy. I kind of throw that out. I'm the music guy. But I had to have the mark out moment. You know, everybody does. It's Sting.
I love the one you got for AEW right now. I mean, all of them are great. I really do. I mean, mine was, you know, you're talking about riffs and guitar riffs, so you're up against, you know, a hit song, hit band. You know, everybody knows who they are. So you go, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, so you're going, okay, I've got to write something that fits an original and kind of fits the stinger. So, I mean, how are you going to do all that? So, anyway, I did, and I can remember the riff.
Let's hear it.
Kind of.
That was me. Sorry.
That's part of.
That's
the
all
theme.
my fault. This is.
All right, so anyway, I was going like, well, what can I do, you know, to get away from the Metallica riff?
Right.
It's kind of like.
Woo!
How about that?
Love it.
Try to play something over there.
Fantastic.
Wow.
That's about all I can remember of it, but
That's pretty good.
thank God I didn't have to play with
I
drums.
can't do that. I want to play like that.
That's old school chicken picking meets Metallica. I don't know what you call it. But.
So we talked a little bit about the deadlines in the sense that you guys would get a text or a phone call and, hey, we need this thing in 2 days. I want to talk a little
2
bit
hours.
I want to talk a little bit about the different production eras, right? Between TNA and AEW. And one thing you and I were talking about, I think it was yesterday, the ability to just, you know, hey, I have to do this. I'm working on this in my hotel room, or and just how that has changed. The ability to bring these things with you and be able to create these themes in a hotel room last minute. Can we kind of speak to the differences, maybe talk a little bit about how things have changed for each of you from when you first started doing this? And
I mean, when you know, it began for me with TNA was about March 2002. I started writing for the first show, which was, I think, in June, I think. And a lot of themes, a lot of different characters. You know, back then I would get, not even photograph or anything, but I would get a drawing, maybe from their costumes or whatever character, whatever, which would help kind of create a direction. And I was in a studio, so we were using live drums, and I would play mainly everything else and program things, but I would record drums, with the different players that are wonderfully talented that were involved, and as things progressed with technology, we were able to kind of pare it down and take it on the road. But at first, it really wasn't available enough to fly and do it quickly. But as things went on for the show, and it finally found some roots with people and everything, we were going down to Universal all the time. So we were doing pay-per-views in Nashville on Wednesday nights, and then get on a chartered plane, get down to Orlando to do our first shows on Fox Sports Net, I think is what we were.
Right, yeah, wow.
So yeah, we were starting to do that. So I had to start traveling, and so I had to figure out all the modern technology, which was a little gimpy then, but it still worked pretty well. But I mean, I would record toys, and I'm not going to tell you what themes there are, but I would record my son's toys sometimes and just manipulate them just to get different sounds, because there wasn't a whole lot of libraries back then. I mean, you had a few companies here and there, so you kind of had to make it up and make some of those sounds, which was cool, to be able to do.
Did you do Samoa Joe's theme?
I did.
It's interesting. And did you do Samoa Joe's theme now?
I did.
Mine's called Nation of Violence. It's the first song I ever rapped. And you can tell.
But again, that's one that I think is what's really cool about that is Joe has also had a kind of, no matter where he's gone, that he hasn't brought the same theme, but he's brought the same theme of the theme, right? The same style of theme.
Because the TNA version starts.
Yep.
Yeah, and mine is dun 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 dun. Everybody's like, use Donkey Kong.
But they're brothers.
And I was like, wait a minute, let me check that out. That does sound like Donkey Kong.
They're kind of
Whoops.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's what's cool about it. It's kind of the evolution of
Nation
themes.
of Violence.
There you go. But it is that evolution of the themes, and along with the evolution of your ability to record these themes. So for you, Mikey, how long have you been doing wrestling themes or MMA themes?
So I started in 2010, just out of the need to supplement my income. I had dabbled in music for a little bit leading up to that, but I never did anything that garnered any sort of revenue or anything like that. And I had just gotten out of my first marriage of 14 years, and I was starting over and trying to figure out my way, and I needed some cash, man, what I'm saying? So, I was like, I'm gonna make music. And at the time, WWE, had Jim Johnston locked in, and so I knew there was no path there. So I decided to let me grab this. Here you go.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's all good. I started to lean into the mixed martial arts industry, just because I was so rooted in it, and I was a huge fan of it at the time. I was like, I'm going to start making themes for fighters, and that'll give me a chance to kind of experiment with different genres. So I started networking on Facebook, like hitting up amateur fighters and regional fighters, and it just out of nowhere it started to kind of snowball, and there was a lot of conversations that I would spend hours just talking to people, like you're a salesman basically. And for every 100 no's, if you got one yes, if you get one yes, you'll get another yes.
Yeah.
You just have to keep building on it, right? And within the first year and a half, I had my music debut in the UFC for Carlo Prater, UFC 142. And that's when I knew I was on the right path. So I continued to build that, started working for independent organizations overseas. 2015, I would team up with Zardonic, drum and bass metal DJ Zardonic, and we created the theme for World Series of Fighting on NBC Sports. That really kind of took things to another level. And then things started to kind of, in the MMA market, started to dry up a little bit. So that's when I noticed that the independent scene in professional wrestling was really kind of blowing up, and talent were taking their brands into their own hands and utilizing social media to create the attraction feel of going from territory to territory. So I was like, I'm just going to start all over again. And I'll be straight up. I was telling people, $50, I'll make you a theme. Wow. Whatever you want. And what my goal was is to treat them like they were world champions, even if they were just starting out. And do everything I could to make sure they were happy, because I knew that they were going to share that with people in the locker room. And my only goal at that point was just to gain market share, basically. And between 2015 and early 2019, I had created close to 300 themes for independent wrestlers in the U.S., UK, Germany. I started working with Revolution Pro Wrestling in the UK. Did a bunch of themes for them, some other independent organizations, and then AEW got announced. I saw it through Dustin Rhodes' tweet, and that's when I was like, this gig is mine. Now, keep in mind, I'm working in retail. I was running a Dollar Tree. I had 40 employees. I was working in my store 60 hours a week, sometimes more, and then I had a client list of themes. I would come home and have to go right into the office and work, and almost got burnt out, like really close. Almost gave it all up. And Mrs. Rukus was like, you're out of your mind if you think you're going to quit. Sleep on it. So I slept on it, and you wake up the next day, you do what you do because you love it, you know. And then that's when I heard about AEW, and it was ninjas trying to, well, you're tracking down ninjas to try to network to get a hold of people. And then just out of nowhere, Matt Sells gives me a number and says, if you call this guy, he's got your contact. And then he like disappeared in the wind. So then I had my conversations with QT, and then a couple of conversations with Brandy, and next thing I know, April of 2019, I was creating music for the first Double or Nothing.
Wow.
And never looked back.
That's the first one you did for AEW?
I made probably 10 within the span of last week of April leading up into Double or Nothing. Matter of fact, the day of the first Double or Nothing, Matt Jackson called me, and I created the first Dark Order theme the day of Double or Nothing. They were planning on debuting them that day, and then they got pushed back to the next pay-per-view.
Wow. So we talked a second about, earlier we talked about Jim Johnston, right? And you had also mentioned, we were talking about Sting's theme, how, you know, you weren't able to get the rights in TNA to play Metallica. Fast forward, Tony Khan gets the rights to play Metallica for Sting to come out.
Which is awesome.
At All In. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because there has been this kind of, it's weird. There's been a resurgence of the original themes, a huge resurgence of original themes. But at the same time, something that AEW has kind of become known for, whether it was Rob Van Dam coming out to Pantera, whether it was, you know, there have been a lot lately.
Orange
Cassidy changing his, you know,
Ass Boys and Many Men.
Yeah, there's the Elite. A lot of those now. So yeah, with Carry On My Wayward Sons. Yeah, there's a lot of that now. So where do you feel like the industry is at this point, when there is now a promotion that has no problem saying, yeah, I'll license that, that's fine. How do you feel with that? Do you feel that kind of helps to elevate the themes that you've done because now they are on the same level as that, or what are your thoughts?
For me, so I look at it from all aspects, right? First of all, let me say thank you to Tony Khan for being such a pro wrestling historian that he understands what those moments mean. Bryan Danielson walking out to the final countdown.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because not everybody would do that. Some people may have the money and won't want to spend it. Some people may not understand that history. He understands the history. He understands the moment. And he has the funds to do that.
And he's passing on his own moment when he
Yes.
was watching it, and he wants other people to feel that. I think that's
Yeah.
great.
And so there's instances like that where it's absolutely needed. I also look at it from a financial aspect from what themes do today. So like back in the day, if you're creating themes in the earlier times, there wasn't really a push for a revenue stream until they started selling them on CDs.
Right.
Hard sale copies are gone now, so everything is streaming or publishing. So I look at it from the financial aspect, and how does that benefit, or how does that create a challenge for the AEW music side of it? And at the end of the day, it's whatever the strategy calls for, right? It's whatever the story that Tony wants to convey in that moment. So I'm okay with either side. If it's an original theme, great. If it's a licensed theme, great. I can't wait. I want to see Juice Robinson under the lights with many men doing his little it's the greatest. It'd be the greatest thing
It's like
ever.
I was saying a while ago, the talent kind of dictates how famous things are. You know, for us too, our themes. I mean, we could have something we love and it doesn't work out, or the contract runs out and somebody leaves and that's the end of it. But, you know, that's what's kind of great about the guys that have been around for a while that are big talents, and it's worth putting, it bit me. Now, it's worth putting that type of investment into it, you know, for the fans and everybody. I mean, it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And at the same time, I'm just like, let's make sure we don't go on a shopping spree.
Yeah, right.
Because I look at the financials on the side of it, and I'm just kind of like, and it's not even my money. Like, I don't like spending other people's money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know. And it creates this thing where this person gets one, this person gets one, so now everybody wants one. So you have to know when the right time is to pull the trigger on that. So
Wembley was a good one for Sting. I mean, that was just awesome.
Exactly, right? Because it harkens back to that time. But I think what's really neat about it is, you know, Tony Khan's appreciation for the history of wrestling, as you mentioned before. He does know when it's time to, like the final countdown and stuff like that, to bring that back. But at the same time, with these original themes, and much like everything that you did with TNA, you've created your own. You've created these things that 10, 20 years from now, these themes you've created are the ones that people are gonna go, oh, that's the one I want. Like for instance.
What's going on, dude?
That's my cue.
I gotta shake your hand, man.
It's good to see you.
Can I
Hey,
am I allowed to
you're
shake
witnessing the first time I've ever met face to face.
Yes.
Mikey.
Are you serious?
Hey, I'm about to get picked up, but out of every panel, and since day one of first Starrcast, I did Jim Johnston's, but this panel, when it was announced, and Karen just goes, Jeff, we got to go to work. I said, I got to run in there real quick, and I'm going to tell the world, he knows how much I think of him. I'll get emotional. This man right here created more magic. You guys got to hear a little bit of it or a lot of it, but you have no idea how appreciative I am of Dale, what a great friend he's been through the years, super talented. And Mikey, we're just getting to know each other and work together. He did something real quick in Wembley. That's for my podcast story that we'll get into. But Dale, I want to say it publicly. I love you, brother. Thank you. But this shirt right here, My World Podcast, but literally my world revolves around his creation. So I cannot thank him enough for everything he's done. All right, sir. Get out of here, Conrad.
Oh, boy.
See you, buddy.
Well, that almost got awkward at the end there, but all right. Well, hey, Jeff Jarrett, everybody. Yeah, so My World, right? There's one that you created back in TNA, and now not only is it the name of his podcast, but it's the theme that he uses now in AEW as well.
Amazingly, it's exactly what you said is going to happen to Mikey. It's just kind of, I'm living that now.
Exactly what we're talking about.
I'm staring at 60 years old, and when I started 20-something years ago doing this, and it's like that was one of the first themes, you know. Mm-hmm. I met with Jeff, and, you know, all of what I had talked about before, and so that's what came out.
Exactly. And I remember we were talking on the phone a few weeks ago about Sting's theme, and I was like, they're kids now. You know, the way that we all have different themes in wrestling, all of us here have a theme that we remember, that we associate with our childhood. They're kids now who are listening to the themes just like they were kids in TNA. They're growing up. That's what AJ Styles' theme in the beginning. That was their favorite wrestler. And there are people to this day who will say, okay, AJ has his theme now. It's great. But that was AJ Styles' actual theme music, the one from TNA, right? And it's the same thing what kids now are going to associate with so much talent from AEW. And I think that if we can give a round of applause for that, because that's pretty amazing for you guys to do that.
Appreciate it. It's what I look forward to. I coached baseball for many, many years when my kids were smaller, and I've recently had some of those kids that I used to coach, grown men, full beards, and say, hey, you took the time, and I appreciate it. And some of them I don't even recognize because they're grown-ups now. But a lot of times it gets hard with the echo chambers that sometimes the fans create, whether it be on Twitter or whatever like that. You have to weed through some of that stuff and remember that there are younger people that are very impressionable, and they're open to what they see, and you create moments for them, and moments that they may move on and forget about it until they're in their early 20s, and then something and it's like a memory unlocked. Yeah. It's like an old toy that you used to have that you loved when you were a kid, and then you see it again for the first time. So absolutely, I look forward to that. It feels a little weird. I deal with imposter syndrome every now and then, but other than that, we just love telling stories.
Well, I think everybody here can attest to the fact that neither of you are imposters when it comes to creating music for professional wrestling. Do we have time for some questions before we do have some other stuff we're going to jump to? But yeah, do we have Dave Sturgio over here with a microphone? That gentleman in the back?
Here we go. Hey guys, just was wondering about the creative process. Do you come up with the main riff? Do you play every instrument? Do you hire musicians? Do you have musicians that play on different songs? Like, can you just kind of walk us through all that?
Well, for me, yes to everything you just said. So once you get the spark of the idea, we'll say, whether it's from the creative talent writing, the storyline, and you've got a new character coming in that hasn't been with the company, and you kind of figure out that you get your music together, and you kind of figure out, whether it's going to be an acoustic guitar intro, piano, metal riff, kind of your genre where you're going. And then, to me, it was like trying to sound like a bunch of different bands. It wasn't so much about, and I know Mikey's this way too, sometimes you come across, as the artist that you are yourself, but you're really trying to capture the moment for the company and for the talent so they can be the best they can be coming out to the entrance and really, make this work. And so just probably trying to sound like a bunch of different bands. So I would hire a drummer, like I was saying a while ago. We've used horn sections for Rowdy Roddy Pipers. I recorded a bagpipe, and then the person walked through the arena to the one that was pre-recorded. And so it's just a little bit of everything, I think. For Eric Bischoff, I did a Spanish guitar thing, and he looked like he was playing it. And, we've done all kinds of diversity type of music. And I think more now, and as TNA got going, it became just, about me, because you had more resources from technology to pull from. If that answers your question at all, Mikey?
Yeah. So I can play everything. I can play the drums and all that stuff like that. With technology and the time that we usually have, all the instrumentation is done computer. I'll track guitars. I'll track live bass. And a lot of it just comes down to time constraints. I try to highlight as many artists that are out there that love pro wrestling, especially with our hip-hop stuff. I try to bring in different rappers to throw verses and hooks down. For me, when it turns to starting and figuring out how to start a song or how I come up with it, a lot of times it's the rhythm. I'm a percussionist at heart, so I always start with that bass first. I set the tempo, and the tempo is what's going to determine where I go musically. whether it's something slow, fast, or whatever like that. And at this point, like when we have to work under a crunch, it's all about decisions, right? So we're making decisions before we even sit down to start the single note, before we hit one note. Like I don't piddle around. I don't make stuff and stockpile it. It's in the moment. So it's almost like a street painter with the spray paint and stuff like that. He's just kind of making things on the fly and doing his best to, from what he's developed over the years, to kind of put together and as quick as possible. I did have one instrumentalist, a guitarist, when I created Great Muda's theme when he debuted for us. I guess it was a Grand Slam. I was actually on vacation, and I booked the vacation, didn't know about Grand Slam, and I had my stuff with me. I created Great Muda's theme while I was staring out at the Atlantic Ocean.
That's awesome.
Wow. But I didn't have my guitar with me, so I called my buddy Dylan Edwards. He played with us down in Orlando when we did the AEW Music Live show, and he played lead guitar on my album on a couple of tracks, the Bring the Rukus album. I said, I need 2 leads. Give me some storytelling in there. And he ripped it. I mean, he absolutely ripped it. So other than that, I mean, it's always, you got a few hours, you got a day, and a lot of times instrumentalists are really tough to get nailed down that quick. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Pulling from the wrestler's ideas are always helpful if that's, available to you as a composer. I met Kevin Nash, I think it was about 10:30 at night in Orlando the night before he debuted, and I didn't have anything. And he told me what he wanted, so that was my evening in the hotel room, staring out the Hilton at the Universal theme park.
Let's do one more question, and then we're going to move on to something I think you're all going to like.
When you guys are talking about those of us out here who are parents, and our kids are going to be introduced to your guys' music. Mikey, Adam Cole's theme is my ringtone. Whenever my daughter hears it, she knows it's Adam Cole, baby. When she hears it on TV, she knows it's Adam Cole, baby. So thank you for that, because to hear her already getting excited about it is really fun for us. But speaking of Adam Cole, recently there's a new edition of his song, Mashup, with MJF. Did you have anything to do with that, and what was that process like?
So Max texted me and was like, can you mash up our themes? And I said, you're effing right, I can mash up your themes. I get that from time to time. I've had Jericho do the same thing. He called me up and, hey, can you do that? Yep, I got you. And then Mrs. Rukus is like, go play with your friends. And But yeah, he hit me up. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, because at this point it's math. You know what I mean? It's like, how can this slot in? I'll just speed the vocal up a little bit and just chop it up, put it in there. And it was like that. And he said, can we build a little bit towards the boom spot, because it comes faster than the original. So yeah, so I just added a little bit of a riser and a couple of kick drums, and it's right there. And sometimes things just, they fit. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter of discovering that pocket.
We talked about wrestlers who maybe will bring themes from the past, the new themes you're creating, but sometimes you'll have a professional wrestler who can actually perform their own theme music. Like a gentleman that I'd like to introduce to the stage right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff Hardy. Well, Jeff Hardy, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Can we get that microphone?
Thanks for having me.
There he is.
Thanks for having me. There we go.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your history with music? I think originally, people first knew you as more of a physical artist in the sense of painting and whatnot, and then we've seen just incredible things you've done, even like on the lawn and stuff. You're just an artist through and through, even what you do in the ring, right? And then there's the music side as well, and I think TNA was... All right.
I'll take the blame.
I think TNA was maybe the first time, at least I can remember, that we really had that opportunity to hear some of your music on a larger stage. Can you tell us about kind of how that all came about.
Yeah, for sure. I really got into writing songs, God, somewhere around 2002, I want to say, when I met my guys from Ohio. We started the band called Peroxygen. But then when I went to TNA for the first time, I met Dale, and I wrote this song called Modest. And I was like, modest to the top, you know. And it was somebody said that just earlier. They said, man, you just bring that back. That was a great entrance theme. And it was. But that was kind of the beginning of mine and Dale's relationship when it comes to music.
Yeah, we met at the Asylum in Nashville on the bed of Jeff Jarrett's pickup truck, I think. And you were showing me songs, and we were listening to music. I mean, it was funny. But, yeah, I think it was 2004.
And this is how far we go back in the day, because I'm not educated when it comes to, like, technology and all that. But I would do my vocals on CDs and send them to Dale. And he would load the vocal. It was crazy for the longest time.
It wasn't quite the technology they have today, but just like Mikey was talking about the mashups, that was Jeff would be singing to a tempo or something that he had done with his keyboard, and then I would take that and time it out, figure out the BPM, and then build a track around.
I call it surgery.
It was definitely surgery.
But
that was creative.
But and that's incredible because, like Jeff, as you just mentioned, you'll have fans who say, oh, you got to bring that back. This is something that you recorded, sent a CD over, and then you put it together, and it is now a part of somebody's history. It's something that it brings an emotion out of them when they hear it. And I think that's music in general. I think everyone can agree nothing can bring back a feeling of nostalgia quite like hearing a song. And it's exactly the same way in pro wrestling. I think that's an incredible thing. The two of you, so what else have you done, like as far as collaborating, or is it?
Yeah, I was just at Dale's house a few weeks ago, and I wrote this song. It's called Abnormal Day, and it's from me, kind of my spirituality side of this human life. But what inspired the song is when Jay Briscoe got killed in that accident, and his two daughters survived. And I wrote a song to it years ago, like in 2012. But then I went back through and I was rewriting lyrics because I've evolved as a writer, as a singer, altogether artist. But yeah, it just kind of came to me. Well, we just recorded that. And another one called 02-23-2023, which was a scary day of my life. It was my last a court date for a conviction from me getting myself into a terrible mess. So naturally, I've always kind of, like all my songs are kind of journal entries. So yeah, I was just there. And we got a new project that's coming out. And there's a song called Savable. It is just so much is going on. It's just, there's so much going on. I don't think there's anything out there like it, and I kind of understand why. But and then there's another one called Manifestations on this project that myself and Darby Allen's crew might help me with a music video to. So I'm super excited about that.
Zane's around here somewhere.
And Zane, yeah, Dale's son. I mean, and I've known him since he was...
Shout out Zane Oliver.
Zane Oliver.
Amen. Yeah, brother. Yep.
But yeah, that's I mean, Jeff writes incredible lyrics. It comes from his life, you know, and he's honest about it, and it helps other people because none of us are perfect. I mean, he writes some great stuff.
Yeah, and where I was getting to with that, after Modest, the next song was Another Me. It was the first time I've ever turned heel in pro wrestling. And this song called Another Me was the one that followed up Modest. But we went on, I just had this, I was like, why don't we see if we can do 6 new songs in 6 years? And I'm pretty sure we did it. Like at our big pay-per-view, Bound for Glory, it was a new song every year, and I was just so grateful they let us do that. But speaking of Another Me, I'm playing my biggest gig ever in a few weeks. It's called the Blue Ridge Rock Festival with all these crazy big-name bands, and I got booked on it with me and my Carolina guitar buddy that we do an acoustic show, and super excited, but that's what it's about, right? Just getting out there and taking that risk and trying not to be afraid, but just facing fear and getting through it. So everything's kind of evolved throughout my life, and music is spirituality to me. And I think, my outlook on it is like it's always been between my soul and my human self. So between self and soul, I think, is where all my songs come from.
You mentioned that. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's been my escape and therapy as well.
You mentioned the project that the two of you were working on. Do you have any more details as to when you think maybe people have an opportunity to hear it?
We're almost done. I've got to finish up a couple of mixes, and we're probably this fall for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And the idea, if we can get this video done, man, I think it's going to be the best video. I've only done like 3 or 4 maybe music videos, but this will definitely be the best one yet, because I've always loved Darby's videos that he does, like the black and white stuff and the stuff with him and Sting and the face paint. Naturally, I love the face paint. So I just had a feeling with this song called Manifestations. It's another dark kind of song, but man, it'd be cool to have like a Darby Allin vibe on this thing. And with I read up the script, so I'm super excited to like bring that into reality. But yeah, it's soon, hopefully before 2024, I imagine.
We sang Savable, the song he mentioned a minute ago, and started most of the vocals, hotel room in Las Vegas about a little over a year and a half ago, I think.
Wow. Well, yeah, I'm excited for that. I think everybody is waiting, so we'll stay tuned. I'm sure you'll let everybody know when that's coming out. But you know what? I think what everybody would really like is to maybe hear some live music. What do you think? Is that
we can do that.
Hey, all right.
We just so happen to have a guitar over there and some
got a couple
equipment. So yeah, we're off the cuff, just randomly going to do this. So yeah, let's do some live music. What are we thinking of doing here?
Yeah, this is
super. Guitars going here.
Super interesting. It was after a TNA Impact show at the Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and me and Dale were walking back from this spot we would always eat at after the shows. And I said, I don't know why, man, but I just want to write a song called Obsolete. I just like the word. And I'm pretty sure deep down it came from a place when I got back through my first big trouble with the law from addiction, and I came out of that and was in great shape again. But I had this feeling like, our career started in the WWE, and I had this feeling was like, man, I'm never going to be good enough to go back to WWE ever to be a WWE superstar again. And I just had that stuck in my head like that's never going to happen. And I think that's where I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete came from. But just the way life works out, I mean, again, that just came out of me from a kind of a depression stage of life going, oh my God, I'm not good enough to ever go back to WWE. But sure enough, in 2017, we made a huge return to WWE and had a few good years. And, life happens, stuff happens. But yeah, the song Obsolete turned out to be, I think, it's probably my most known song that's out there in the music universe. But yeah, sure enough, I wrote those lyrics, and it's definitely one of my favorites. And I haven't done it, I've been doing it acoustically. I haven't done it like full band style since, pre-pandemic. So yeah, so we're going to do a little Obsolete for y'all if that's all right.
Let's do it.
Just guitars or yeah, let's try just guitars. Welcome to our first rehearsal. Set in my ways, I am changing. Every single move you're making. Sense of analyzed predictions, far beyond our comprehension. I've been tortured with arriving. The thoughts that stop a star from shining. Kill me now before I'm sober, so I die before it's over. My skin's dying because you're under it. Oh, I'm done lying to myself for this. For all the wonder and believing, man, it's making me weak. I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete. Set in my stone, I am changing. Every sudden move you're making, a sense of traumatized inflictions that intensify this tension. I've been tortured with denying. Walks on water, semi-blinding. Faith is stronger when I'm sober. I'll survive until it's over. My skin's dying because you're under it. Oh, I'm done lying to myself for this. For all the wonder and believing, man, it's making me weak. I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete. 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 Set in form of separation, pleading for cooperation from the higher powers out there. Save me from this daily despair. Undone, I am reassessing common bonds that are reflecting higher powers waiting out there. Save me from this daily despair. My skin's dying because you're under it. Oh, I'm done lying to myself for this. For all the wonder and believing, man, it's making me weak. I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete. My skin's dying because you're under it. Oh, I'm done lying to myself for this. For all the wonder and believing, man, it's making me weak. I'll fade away and classify myself as obsolete. Obsolete. I am completely insane to try. Oh my God, I'm completely insane. I didn't even think about how hard that is without the drums and just not really. Oh my God.
That was incredible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
Hey, real quick before we play another one, guys. Maybe does anybody have any questions for Jeff Hardy? No, never wanted to ask him anything before. No. Oh, okay. Or you raise your hand. You have a question? Can we get? Here we go. All right, we have a microphone coming to you.
Got you. Hold on.
What was your favorite moment in WWE?
The favorite moment overall is probably our return at 2017. I mean, it was just to go out there and feel that energy from all that sea of humans, and and that was probably it up there. But all the TLC matches, I mean, those will never not be cool. And so I think we, and it's such a cool feeling to know that we were kind of the creators of that. So.
All right, any other questions here for Jeff Hardy? All right, we got it in the front here. Two in the front here. Guys, we can sit back down here. We're going to do a couple questions if that's right before
we
let Jeff get out.
I was like, I'm getting ready. They're like, everybody get up. Let's go.
Question for Jeff. I share your passion that music is spirituality. It's just, kind of the lifeblood and the zen. So who are some of the artists, I guess a music question, who are some of the artists that sort of really lift and elevate you or have inspired your own music?
Before the grunge movement, I was I started learning how to dance, and I went through a Vanilla Ice phase to where I was pretty much in high school. I
see it.
One of the first.
And now Jeff Hardy performs Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah. One of the first songs I ever wrote, one of the first raps, there was a line in it that said, "I'm white as snow, but black in the soul." And I wrote all these raps, but then the grunge movement happened, and Matt had bought the Pearl Jam album 10, and it changed my life. At first I didn't get it. I was like, why are you listening to this? But then it just grew on me, and then I fell in love with Stone Temple Pilots, and that's Nirvana. Chris Cornell, just his lyric, his vocals just blew me away.
Yes.
And then Linkin Park came around, and they were super inspiring. Because I've always been kind of a genreless type of guy. It's music to me. And but yeah, by far overall, Pearl Jam, STP. I got Johnny Cash too. I kind of, when I think of what I am in this musical universe, I'm kind of Johnny Cash, Lil Wayne, and Eddie Vedder, something like that.
No Alice in Chains?
And some Alice in Chains.
Yes.
Yeah, especially.
What a
Yeah,
lineup that would be. All right, we have another question here. Right over here. Okay.
All right, so you have Swanton bombed off a number of things. What Swanton bomb that you've done that gave you the most butterflies?
Definitely the one to Randy Orton. It was the last time Raw had that set, so they wanted to do something big, and it was a 33-foot thing. I jumped off of it. It was so scary. It was so scary. And the fear again was kind of part of the fun, and I survived it. But yeah, that was. But then there was one in TNA before that one that was real risky. And it was, I think it might have been 32 feet because I like to have the measurements, every time I do it. But this one was, I don't think it was as big as that one, but this was to Abyss over that stage through like 2 tables and with no padding whatsoever. So that could have went way wrong, way fast.
What about, I have a question for you. We're talking about diving off things, so that's really interesting. One of the most famous ones, I would say, is probably the WrestleMania one off the ladder onto Bubba, where you almost bounced off of him. That's the one I remember. It just looked like it was like all tailbone on the floor there, but obviously you hit him. But was that one just standing on the top of that ladder? Because I'd imagine some of the other ones you jumped off of, maybe you had a sturdier base. It was a farther fall, but you had a sturdier base before. Has there ever been a situation where you're on the top of one of those ladders and you're just like, man, I hope this thing just doesn't fall out from under me?
Yeah, after that night, man, that feeling in itself, especially back when flash photography was going on, and that feeling became an addiction in itself, just getting up there with arms wide open and then hoping for the best. But I thought I missed the table at first. I landed on my ass so hard, and my heels, they were bruised so bad, and my tailbone, and I didn't think I broke the table at first, but then thank God I looked back, and Bubba was on the floor, and the table was in 2.
You said the F word to yourself. I saw it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did, yeah. So, yeah, that was the beginning of it all, that one, for sure.
Wow. Any other questions here? Oh, right here. An awesome question, I believe.
What up, AJ?
Hello. Who does your face paint, and where does the inspiration for it come from?
The makeup crew at All Elite Wrestling, and WWE was real good about it too. I just go in there and sit down, and they do it all for me. No, I do every I do.
I know better than that.
We're
No
all
way.
like, oh, okay.
I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I do every single bit of it. So, and back in 2012, like around that time when I wrote that Obsolete song, that's when I really took face painting to the next level with the eyes on my eyelids, and I got so into it. And then to bring it back in WWE, and just now I get to see action figures immortalized with some of these face paints, and that's when I go. When I don't feel like doing it, and I need to focus on the match more, I go. When I see a little action figure come out, I go, that's why I do that. That's why I spend all that extra time.
The eyes on the eyelids, is that just like a close one eye and look in the mirror while you're trying to do it?
Yeah,
or
it's
just
very.
Both eyes closed and you're just that good.
It's very challenging. Yeah. It was very. I did many cross-eyes, like when I first started doing it, and then later on, I was like, I got to do something different. I can do all the white eyes. Okay, that's cool looking. But then, what if I do like just eyes looking over here, or eyes looking to the right, and that didn't work out at all. But yeah, sometimes they still look a little wacky, but it's tough, man.
I do have to say that I had this image of, then this was years ago, I had this image of Jeff Hardy starting the makeup with just a couple of things, and it's like the Little Giants, the kicker with the eye black, and he's just in the mirror, and he's like, and then he's like, that works, let's keep going. Yeah. Love it, man.
My favorite one is the referee that you did back in TNA. I think you were a guest ref or something on a match.
That's right. Yeah,
I love that
yeah.
one. You don't see it that much. You haven't done it much, right?
Yeah, I've only done it that one time, and that's probably why. Because it was so. I try to paint. I painted my arms up. It was insane. I just sometimes my thoughts are too big for my size, I guess. But I go for it.
It's kind of zebra-esque.
Very zebra. Yeah, that'd have been real cool if I'd had a zebra with me when I came out there to the ring.
Hey, there's still time, you know?
There is, yeah.
So, one last question. If we have one last question here, right over there.
So I have a two-part question. As an artist, we heard that you paint and draw as well as do music. One, what is your vice, or what do you fall back on the most? Is it music, or using your hands as art to make paintings or drawings? And two, are any of your tattoos personal artifacts that you've drawn or have been inspired by your work?
It's a great question.
Yeah, for sure. Just as far as tattoos, like the Hardy Boy symbol on my neck, I designed that, and that kind of became our thing. That was like a huge thing. Even the pendants, I still wear to this day. And I got a little cross. My Enigma cross is the one I designed in TNA, and I designed that after Prince did the deal when he became the symbol. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Oh my God, he's not a name anymore. He's just a symbol. So I said, I got to design me one, and that's yes. I just love that. So that's where that symbol came from, and yeah. Oh my God, that's. I want to get that bigger on my leg eventually. But as far as the outlets and creativity go, with music, I feel like everything's kind of like came together with the wrestling, the art, and the music, especially, and that kind of happened in TNA when I was doing my own entrance themes, the face paint, the wrestling, all that good stuff. But yeah, it just comes and goes. Like I'm at a writer's block position now, like with writing lyrics, because for the last, I don't know, 6 months, so many lyrics came out of me with this guy I'm working with in Florida. That you can catch our stuff on this the YouTube channel called Alter Nero. Just so many lyrics came out. I can't believe his music brought that much wording out of me. So then I started painting again. I still enjoy painting like I did when I was in school, and even if I just start a canvas with an image in my head, I really get into it and will spend forever on it. And then there's such a good feeling of succeeding and finishing it, and every now and then I'll feel like weed eating some faces in my grass at home, and I'll just be out there doing normal weed eating, but I see something the way the nature of the layout is with the centipede grass, and I see a snake there. Let me try that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But yeah, I really get into that and spend some crazy hours with those landscape designs. So around where I live in Cameron, North Carolina, I'm pretty sure, because there's a gate with that Enigma symbol on it at our gate, and there's we grew up farming tobacco, 2 big tobacco barns that are all painted up beautifully, abstract, with all my artwork on it. So I'm pretty sure when people ride by, they go, "Whoa,
I saw those.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like in there." That's where Jeffrey Scissorhands lives. That's the way I feel.
I saw that. So I went to the Hardy compound to shoot the Ghost Town video with Matt, and I saw those paintings, and I remember going, "That's totally Jeff's." Like, I wonder if he's in there right now. No, he's not in there. Nobody's in there.
They are huge, man. And the cool thing about when we filmed that firm deletion match out there, we were going to get around to a spot with Willow as an alter Nero of mine, but we didn't have time to do it. We had to shut down too early. But Willow was going to do a spot in one of those barns with Stokely, but we didn't get to do it. So I went in there to clean one out just to make sure it was going to be good. And I thought I was seeing things at first. My daughters were with me. I said, wait, y'all. And I cut my flashlight on, and it was 2 baby buzzards with yellow fur. I mean, the one little one didn't even look real, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But I pretty much raised those buzzards, and the mom and dad come back, and we still give them chicken livers every now and then. But they are like full grown, like big black buzzards now, and they come back. But I never thought I would experience that, but it was the coolest thing seeing them grow up. But yeah, they grew up, and I'm sure it's happened over the years. We haven't known it. But yeah, it's so cool. Just before I came out here, I left some good old stinky chicken livers up there for them to eat. When they get hungry or they didn't have a good hunt.
Well, great questions. Thank you so much. Everybody, please, round of applause for Jeff Hardy. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us and perform with us. And yeah, we're looking forward to that next album coming out and everything else you have going on.
Yeah, for sure. Savable is like one of the most scary songs to ever think about performing that one live, because it is a beast of a song. Wow. As you know, I asked for a double chorus and he gave me one, and here we go. It was crazy.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Can't believe I went for that, man. Oh my God. Just guitar.
That's fun.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
The street said they need that TNA Lex Luger theme. Just thought.
Oh, man, come on.
I need to throw that out there. Somebody hit me up and said that they need the Lex Luger TNA theme.
Man,
and they said it's all your fault that it's not out.
I haven't heard that one in years. Wow. There's a lot of those. Yeah.
So at this point in time, I think we would love to hear some more live music from you guys. What do you think?
All right.
We talked about this earlier. We actually had a different Jeff run in. We talked about My World, so why don't we hear My World?
All right. And we're talking about Jeff's world, really.
It's his
not
world.
my world,
Yes.
it's his world.
If you could play his world right now for all
he
of
let
us.
me in
we
his
would
world. Yeah,
appreciate it.
I got you.
So I'm actually going to sing this. Are y'all cool with that? I don't know the words. Fire me. I'm already fired, right? Even though I did the cover. I know the chorus, but I didn't, But yeah, we're there.
Hang on just a second. The reason I'm not singing this, I actually sang it, is I'm recovering from cancer. So he's gracious enough to sing for me today. So thank you, Mikey.
And a round of applause for Mr. Dale Oliver making his way back. All heart. Oh, they're going to. Oh, are they? Oh, okay. I thought you were jumping into it. That's up on them. You guys got it queued up? Yeah, it's there we go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
He plays so you play so much better than me. Your gear is way better than mine. It's just legendary. Y'all give it up one more time for Dale Oliver. Fantastic.
Unbelievable. That was really something. And hey, you know what? Hey, kudos to you, man, for doing the vocals for that. And there are actual lyrics too.
Yeah.
To that, because I think a lot of people just go, my world is, and don't actually know what it is.
You have a
can
story
tell
about
us-
the lyric line in there, right? There you go.
I do. These were songs, like we write. Sometimes we just wrote. You hear instrumentals, but sometimes they're full songs. This was a full song. So when I got the lyrics done, it was this earth is not my place. Don't care what skin is on your face. If you step inside the ring, you will see the king. He ain't dead. He ain't the Rock. Don't want to hear your big mouth talk, but we thought we were going to get in trouble by using the Rock at that point because it was a new company, no money, We're working for $50 a theme, same thing. Yeah. So anyway, we took it out, so that was kind of that version, but that's the original lyrics.
Wow.
The internet might be wrong. I don't know.
The internet told me that when it changed to Jack, the internet told me it was Jeff. So I'm doing the 21 Jump Street. My name is Jeff.
Well, I like Jeff too. So,
So when you sent me the lyrics, I was like, oh, that's what that is. Okay. Super cool.
So do we have one more live one that we're going to do here?
Yeah, I'll do a couple songs
Okay,
here.
we'll do a few songs, and that's it. And then, so I'll get out of here so you can do it. I'll get out of the way. But before I do, I have an announcement to make to all of you. We are very, very excited that coming soon, exclusively to Premier Streaming Network, is a show called Be Kind and Rewind with Rukus.
Yeah, man.
So we are very, very excited to have you officially part of the Premier family. And Dale, you're welcome anytime too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I never have played any of these themes that I've written, and it was all Mikey. When we first met about a year ago, he's had this idea, so I'm glad that I was able to join you today. Thank you.
Absolutely. Wouldn't want to do it any other way. When I was talking with Steve and said, what do you want to do? I said, we need to get Dale up there. So it was fantastic. And in terms of Be Kind and Rewind with Rukus, we were formerly a Twitch show that focused on 80s and 90s games, toys, and movies, and then we had a little segment called Wacky Table Reads where we'd bring your favorite professional wrestlers on to do scene reads of their favorite comedy movies, rom-coms, whatever like that, and it turned out to be pretty crazy. We've had some really cool scenes, and I am excited to bring that to the Premier platform. As a matter of fact, my co-host / assistant, Keeping It Will, is out here as well. We bicker like old married people. He's back here. You'll see him with the crazy blue shirt. If you look really close, he's got Batman and Joker and all that all over that shirt. It's pretty wild. He even bought me these shoes that represent the Be Kind and Rewind with Rukus. I had to wear them today. If you look on the back, it says BKRR show, like stitched in.
Nice.
Awesome.
And he's going to give me crap when we go back here because I creased them up. I don't tie my shoes right. I don't understand the shoe game. I just put them on, tie them up, keep going. But, yes, very excited. Oh, and also we have one of our – I have to do this because this is a running theme. You're going to hear a lot more about this on the show. Rukus is greater than Will. And inside joke. You can catch us on the Twitch stream for the foreseeable. And then very soon we'll be on Premier Streaming Network, and we're extremely excited about that.
I'll have to actually get on social media for the first time ever so I can watch this. True story.
It's a train wreck when we get some of the wrestlers on, too. And they really love being on because it's a non-wrestling format, and they get to talk about the things that they love. Movies, toys, games, and they get to have fun with it. And providing that alternative on Premier Streaming Network is something that we're really excited about to provide for you.
We're excited as well. And hey, by the way, we have a promo code for everybody who's watching this and all of you here. You go right now, Starrcast on Premiere. You put that in, and you will get yourself 2 free months of Premiere Plus so that you will be able to watch that for free. And spoiler, you're not going to want to go anywhere because you're going to want to keep watching that. So, yeah, but that's our gift to you. We're very excited to have you on here. Guys, Thank you so much for allowing me to be on here and talk with you a little bit about some music.
Nice to meet you.
1,000%. Shake your
And
hand.
you're gonna play us out here.
Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a couple of more tracks, but I don't want anybody sitting down. So I need everybody in here to get up and come on to the front. We're gonna have some fun. Yes. This is crowd participation. Don't be scared. If you got to move a couple chairs, this is the last show of the day, so if you got to move some chairs out of the way, do it. I'd like to thank everybody coming out this evening. Did you guys have a good time this weekend? Collision tonight, all in tomorrow, or all out tomorrow. We've got more, Starrcast has more activities tomorrow as well. Thank you to Steve and thank you to Josh for providing this platform and just allowing us to be a part of it. It's been an amazing experience here, and I hope you guys had a great time. So, we were talking about some of the favorite AEW themes. Maybe we'll play a few of those right now. Whenever you guys are ready, you can cue up number 1. It's just going to start. When it starts, it starts. I don't, you know. Here we go.
My drive is limitless. You won't compare to this. I have been chiseled from granite and given a shot of adrenaline. You are the enemy, standing in front of me. Now watch what I do when the train coming through your position is fantasy. My time, my shine, brand to attack with the 1-9. Let's live it, let's get up, get up, get up, get up. The fire pain into the fire. That's the battle, that's the pit, and I am. All rise and rest, it's glory. The fire pain into the fire. That's the battle, that's the pit, and I am.
One more.
All rise and bask in his glory.
Here we go.
If you see me staring at you, better knuckle up. I said the world is cold, but it brought to love. I said the world is cold, but it brought to love. The world is cold, but it brought to love. If you see me staring at you, better knuckle up. I said the world is cold, but it brought to love. I said the world is cold, but it brought to love. The world is cold, but it brought to love. If you see me staring at you, better knuckle up. Come on, killer. And no second guessing, I'm a killer. Do what I got to, this is why I get this thriller. This ain't no surprise, I don't need you, I'm killer. I'm gonna walk this life all alone, no filler. The world is cold, but it brought to love. Some of my pops always told me, we all corrupt. If you try to run a boat, I won't be touched. Stop snapping a fist banging, now your thumbs quit touch. I said the world is cold, but it brought to love. I said the world is cold, but it brought to love. Yo, the world is cold, but it brought to love. If you see me staring at you, better knuckle up. I said the world is cold, but it brought to love. I said the world is cold, but it brought to love. Yo, the world is cold, but it brought to love.
Let me see your hands up right here. Here we go.
I came, I saw, I rode. Your face, your back, your home. For the throne, better know. It's kill or be killed. I came, I saw, I broke. Your face, your back, your home. For the throne, better know. It's kill or be killed. I will never let go of my ego. More than enough for me and my amigos. He gets a separate interest everywhere we go. And all the Spanish honeys like it rico. It's all eyes on me. I don't do this for free. You dropped the ball, said damn it all. I'll save the game when I got the call from Montreal to the Taj Hall. Name engraved on the curtain scroll. Look at everybody in the whole world shocked. I got you all against the wall. Give me room, ain't no turning back now. Don't even think about throwing in the towel. You being edgy, that just fuels my style. Oh, my ego is about to run wild. Everybody up, you ain't had enough. I'm a run up on you, I'ma call you on your bluff. You being edgy, that just fuels my style. Yo, my ego is about to run wild.
Let me hear you, Starrcast. Who's going to Collision tonight? Who's going to All Out tomorrow? Fantastic. Who's coming back to Starrcast tomorrow? That's what I like to hear. I love it. Thank you very much.
I will never let go of my ego. More than enough for me and my amigos. He gets a separate entrance everywhere we go. And all the Spanish honeys like Enrico. It's all eyes on me. I don't do this for free. You dropped the ball, said damn it all. I saved the game when I got the call from Montreal to the Taj Mahal. Name engraved on the curtain scroll. Look at everybody in the hell. I got you all against the wall. Give me room, ain't no turning back now.
Let me see your hands like this.
You're being edgy, that just fuels my style. Let go my ego, is about to run wild. Everybody up, you ain't had enough. I'ma run up on you, I'ma call you on your bluff. You being edgy, that just fuels my style. Let go my ego, is about to run wild. Cero, quiero, ánimo, ero. Meet us in the ring, we the Mexicans. It's a fight we bring, hanging by a string. Zeros up, M's down, and we say it proud. Cero, quiero, ánimo, ero. Meet us in the ring, we the Mexicans. It's a fight we bring.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Abrahantes.
Venga, un ánimo se siente, lo mejor es en el ring y eso es no miente, tú lo sientes, es bien fuerte, es todo para mi gente, oponentes caen con otro frente, reídos de lucha, siempre están presentes, representando libertad y voz independiente, pelean tu corazón y siempre están bien fuertes, castigos y movidos que siempre están calientes.
Cero, quiero, ánimo, ero. Meet us in the ring, we the Mexicans. It's a fight we bring, hanging by a string. Zeros up, M's down, and we say it proud. Cero, quiero, ánimo, ero. Meet us in the ring, we the Mexicans. It's a fight we bring, hanging by a string. Zeros up, M's down, and we say it proud.
Enfréntate al ring y siente lo peor. Cae como lo demás, sal y es lo mejor. En la lucha no importa si es estilo americano, vas a conocer lo mejor de sí, si son mexicanos. Te derrotan en simulado, lucha de relevos. Vas a conocer que los rudos son los buenos, te atacan con el aire o con llave de rendición. Vas a tener que pedir una bendición.
Cero, quiero, ánimo, ero. Meet us in the ring, we the Mexicans. It's a fight we bring, hanging by a string. Zeros up, M's down, and we say it proud. Cero, quiero, ánimo, ero. Meet us in the ring, we the Mexicans. It's a fight we bring, hanging by a string. Zeros up, M's down, and we say it proud. Y'all give it up for Alex Abrahantes.
Thank you, guys. Cero miedo.
Oh, I'm not ready yet. Hang on 1 second. Check. You guys want one more? Which one you want? What? Maybe. I don't know. Uh-oh. What would that be?
You know it's all about the pow! And I'm cold, baby! You know it's all about the pow! Yeah! Baby, my name's like a torch in a tank full of propane. Bring heat, build steam, I got the whole place in gasoline. Sky high, on track, I'm down to the eruption of jetpack. Everyone bracing the impact. The rally pump rumbles you fade black. No one can ignore. This is what you waiting for. Fire in the hole and then we shout. You know it's all about the pow. And I'm cold, baby. You know it's all about the pow. Yeah.
TV edit. Oh, should I do it? There you go. I love it.
Baby, my name's like a torch in a tank full of propane. Bring heat, build steam. I got the whole place in gasoline. Sky high, on track. I'm down to the eruption of jetpack. Everyone bracing the impact. The rally pump rumbles you fade black. No one can ignore. This is what you waiting for. Fire in the hole and then we shout. You know it's all about the pow. And I'm cold, baby. You know it's all about the pow. Yeah.
Let me see you one more time.
You know it's all about the pow.
Get him up.
And I'm cold, baby. You know it's all about the pow. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the music of wrestling. Dale Oliver, Mikey Rukus, Jeff Hardy. Thank you to Premier Streaming Network, Starrcast, Steve K, and Josh Shernoff. All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you.
Starrcast, let's hear it one more time for the music of wrestling with Mikey Rukus and Dale Oliver.